Hello, everybody. Thank you very much for clicking on the afternoon report here on the 18th day of July, and we got some new videos from the um, assassination attempt where Donald Trump was shot at, and we will get to those. A little bit more information as well. Again, thanks for being here. Not going to be on tonight unless it is really late, like after midnight or so, because I'm going to go see the an advanced screening of the new Twisters movie tonight. First movie I've been to in about a year from right now. Went and saw Indiana Jones when it came out about a year ago, and I just don't do that very much. Um, so I wanted to get on and make sure and get some stuff out here, and then remind you that tomorrow night Chris will be on at 9 o'clock, and we're going to go through just about as much as we possibly can of what we've been seeing, and we're going to start today. We're going to start with a video here, um, and I'll give you the gentleman's name after we finish. You'll hear some of the things that you'll hear some things that you might not have heard before. I don't know how much talk has been generated about the fact that there was an explosive device and a pretty elaborate explosive device, actually. But here's some information on that.
Things just got more weird for the President Trump assassination attempt. Right down here below is a transmitter, and we're about to talk about why that is a huge flippin' deal. For those that don't know, my name is Matt Tardy. I'm a retired Green Beret and prior law enforcement officer, and I happen to be an explosives expert on top of all of that. So, what does that transmitter have to do with the explosives found inside the vehicle, and what does it tell us about the suspect? So obviously he presses a series of buttons on the transmitter, which then goes towards the receiver. It then sends out an electrical impulse, which then runs through the charge and detonates it. Now that electrical impulse that's sent out by the receiver, or in this case we're going to call it the switch, is not enough to set off the main charge. That, my friends, is why electric blasting caps exist. Now, if that's the case, and he actually had his explosive devices rigged up to an electric blasting cap, he could have acquired them one of two ways. The first way is he could have made them. Precursors are readily available at numerous places here inside of the United States, and truthfully, I've even had them sent to my front door off of Amazon. Now, he could have taken those precursors and mixed his own explosives out of it and made his own electric blasting cap. Only problem is, in order to do that, it requires a very precise formula, and it's highly volatile when you're making and drying it. Then he would have to pack the cap without blowing himself up, and so on and so forth. Manufactured caps are very closely tracked, so I highly doubt he got his hands on one of those. Now, the suspect is 20 years old, and last I checked, he does not exactly have an extensive background in chemistry. He'd also have to have a location to dry out the explosives after he manufactured them. And by the way, I want you to picture like a Breaking Bad laboratory. It doesn't have to be that extensive, but a lot of the same materials you see used in Breaking Bad to manufacture the meth is the same thing that he would be using in order to manufacture the explosives. It's chemistry. His parents would have seen that. They would have smelt it. They would have noticed. He lives at home, so he'd have to have a storage facility or somewhere else in order to make it. But again, it goes back into how the hell did the kid not blow himself up doing it, because the temperatures have to be very exact, and if it gets too hot, you can frickin' cause a whole thing to detonate right there on the spot. A lot of people are speculating and saying that because he doesn't have a social media profile, it's kind of weird. But I want you to look at it from a foreign actor's perspective. If you are going to be training somebody,
I was one, of course. I've been one of the vocal ones saying he's a 20-year-old with no social media platform. What is this? Um, my initial take was it was scrubbed by whoever was handling him. If that were the case, this gentleman's take is foreign agents might be involved, and we've talked about the fact that Iran has a $10 million bounty on Trump's head. Um, let's listen to the rest of what the former Green Beret and former police officer. Again, a lot in common with Chris, and also an explosives expert.
And giving them the means in order to do what this gentleman did, would you want them to have a social media platform? The answer is no, because all they have to do is make one dumbass comment and the whole thing is going to get tipped off to law enforcement.
By the way, there are reports that he made a comment on a gaming site. Those reports have, within an hour, those reports were proven to be false. However, they are out there and generating.
So you would want to recruit somebody like him who has been picked on in school, likely has a couple mental issues, but also has no real social media presence, and likely gets his interactions online through different platforms like, I don't know, say 4chan or Reddit. Once they've got him recruited, then they just need to talk to him. Once they're talking to him, either through emails, private messaging, whatever, right? There's a million different ways to do it. They don't even have to meet up with the guy. They can just give him a series of tasks, and then once he completes those tasks and they know he's good to go, then they can start dead dropping him the different things that he needed in order to conduct this attack. This whole thing looks shady as hell.
Again, there a lot in there. I did not know that that making a bomb and making meth were almost the same thing, but I guess they're both deadly, so that makes sense. I do agree with what he said. Something shady. There's just too many unanswered questions, and we will probably never know. But you know what? Speaking of shady, this is the champion, Jonathan Tamio, won the World Series of Poker yesterday. Let's watch what happens. This gentleman here will reach up. This is the champ. This gentleman here will reach up and it appears take something out of his ear, hand it to a third person who then deposits it in his pocket. Let's watch this.
From lifetime grinder to lifetime world champion for Jonathan. From lifetime grinder to lifetime world champion for Jonathan. From lifetime grinder to lifetime world champion.
That's $10 million, by the way. So would is there any motivative rewards behind possibly cheating in something like that? Well, yes, obviously. Am I saying he did? No, but I think we may hear more about this. That was just incredibly suspicious. Now, supposedly Biden had the same thing inside of his ear during the debate. That did not work out for him, as apparently it might have for this young man. We'll see how it all plays out. This is, he looks very unhinged. A lot of people have concerns about him, and I'm not sure if he was on something, but I do hope that he gets the help that he needs. More importantly, I hope the young women get the justice they deserve when it comes to him. Now, this is not about Donald Trump. This is about Matt Gaetz. And I didn't show this yesterday, but Gaetz tried to pick a fight with former Speaker McCarthy on the Republican floor. Gaetz or McCarthy was doing an interview, and Gaetz came up and tried to grab him. Here we go.
So that's the way they get booed off the stage. That's the biggest challenge we have.
He said you would get booed off the stage. What's your response to him?
Well, he looks very unhinged. I mean, a lot of people have concerns about him. And I'm not sure if he was on something, but I do hope he gets the help that he needs. But more importantly, I hope the young women get the justice they deserve when it comes to him.
I mean, you're referring to the House Ethics Committee investigation that is ongoing.
Yeah, with his partner in jail because they paid underage women for sex and drugs. Yeah, that's what I'm referring
to. So he has denied all of that. I'm wondering, doesn't he deserve the presumption of innocence here?
Well, people are in jail. The women have confirmed it. He came to me. If I sort of still wanted to be speaker, I could have done something illegal and stopped the ethics committee investigation that started 4 years
He
before.
told you to stop the ethics
Yeah,
investigation.
that's what the whole motion to vacate was about. He wanted me to engage and thought somehow I started this investigation. It started long before I was ever speaker. And as you know, as Congress, I don't get involved in ethics. It's an equal number. They could investigate me. It has to be its own arm and branch. And so he wanted to leverage me to try to do that. And if I didn't, he wanted to do a motion to vacate.
And he's denied that, of course, that he urged you to stop the investigation.
No, I had other members come to me. He came to me. I had other people who were on
You had a direct
TV that he
conversation
talked to.
about
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
So no, there's no denying it.
So he was
Okay, there we go. Just a little something to think about. Old Matt Gaetz. I got Matt. Matt's coming up here again in just a couple of minutes. There has been no medical report released officially for Trump, and this is out there. I'm going to say allegedly because I'm like 90% sure this is not the actual EMS transfer of care form. However, according to Pennsylvania law, they have to do that. Every EMS has to fill out a transfer form to um, the Department of Health in Pennsylvania with what occurred while the patient, in this case Donald J. Trump, um, next of kin Melania Trump, 78 male. I don't know if that's the address or not of Mar-a-Lago. It's a pretty public place, so that's um, and let's. He's on. He says he's on clozapine, donzoprile, um, cocaine. I don't know if he would announce that. So that's my that's my red flag that I am not automatically buying this. Patient showed signs of mild trauma to right ear, which appears to have been nicked by a small piece of airborne plexiglass. Patient claims he was shot, but no evidence of bullet wound exists. Just a small scratch and nick at the top of the right ear. No treatment warranted other than gentle wiping. It was 6:16 p.m. Pulse was 268. Blood pressure 210/40. Um, and patient is amped up, keeps ranting about going on TV again. Treatment medic administered ketamine to shut him up. Tiny band-aid applied to ear at patient's insistence, not required. Ketamine to calm patient screaming and ranting. So, and it was at Butler Memorial Hospital. We will see if that turns out to be false, which I would not be surprised simply because of the cocaine thing there. I don't know, unless he was really, you know, amped up and they asked him if he was on anything and he blurted out cocaine. All right, I said I had, well, here it is. This was Matt on Tuesday when he almost got into a fight. Because of Kevin McCarthy. I said with Kevin McCarthy. One of the security guys came up and said, Gates, get the F out of here, and got in his face and scared him off. But this was him on Tuesday, and this was him last night. Um, Almost looks like a completely different person, or perhaps he got into his wife's Botox and didn't know what he was doing. I don't know. You be the judge. The Israeli Knesset for the first time, Knesset, cassette. There's the Israeli Knesset for the first time in history earlier today, this is 12 hours ago, passed a resolution by a vote of 68-9, which totally rejects the concept of a Palestinian state of any kind or of any two-state solution. 68-9, pretty decisive. And this news is going to get lost in everything else that's going on. But as far as worldwide, very significant, in my personal opinion. All right, this is we talked. Joe Biden's got COVID. People have been talking. Prominent Democrats have been talking about getting rid of Joe Biden, not replacing him on the ticket, not having him resign as president because they don't want Kamala Harris as president, and that would happen if he resigned. Um, they want him to stay as president and somebody else get on the ballot, and they don't want it to be Kamala Harris. It's going to get messy. But for those that watch, you know that for the past 7 months, I've been saying don't be surprised if one or both of these guys is not on the ballot come November, and I'm sticking by that. And I'm still, even though he's the nominee officially now of the Republican Party, he may not be on the ballot. Just saying. Um, all right, this is Democrats. He says kowtowing to rich donors and trying to push out the most successful president we've had in a couple generations. This guy's delusional if he thinks Biden's the most successful president we've had in a couple generations. Um, he's been really good. He's been beyond what I expected. But come on now, let's not make him a demagogue. Uh, Tom Strickler, a founder of the Hollywood talent agency WME, William Morris, said he had recently met in Los Angeles with Senator Martin Henrich, a Democrat of New Mexico. And Strickler said he told Mr. Heinrich, if you don't publicly call for Biden to step aside, you're not getting a dime from me. Strickler said that he had also been planning to give the maximum legal amount in August to each of the 7 most vulnerable Democratic Senate candidates, but that as of now, he would not be supporting them because they have not broken with Mr. Biden. Quote, it's a message I've encouraged my friends to send as well. If you back Biden, you will lose our support. Over and out. And he's talking to the Senate candidates, the House candidates. They've already stopped or withheld the funding from Biden. So this is bigger. This is bigger than just, there is major concern that if Trump wins the White House, he has control of the Supreme Court. You have got to have control of the House and the Senate in order to have any hope of any kind of check or balance. So the focus cannot only be on the White House for the Democrats, but for a lot of people, they don't understand that, especially the kids um, who think, um, if it's either Joe or nothing, and that's not the case. The last night of the Republican National Convention is tonight, and Dana White was scheduled to introduce Donald Trump tonight. Dana White, well-known tough guy, owns the UFC. However, footage surfaced of him interacting with his wife, well, in a really violent manner here, as you'll see. Um, can't see because of the flashing lights because they're at a bar, but he takes a whack at her and knocks her down to the ground and almost knocked her out. After this footage surfaced, and plus the with Trump getting shot at, they decided maybe promoting gratuitous violence at the convention may not be a good idea, and maybe independent voters wouldn't like seeing a guy smacking his wife and then being applauded on a international stage. So, what do? Well, they turn to brother. They turn to Hulk Hogan. All right. Hulk Hogan is going to introduce Donald Trump tonight. At least at least as of right now, because this is making its way around the interwebs quickly. Um, Hulk Hogan, behind the scenes WWF, WWE time. Um, while he was, vitamins and prayers and all that, he was also a racist. Um, and that is part of the reason that the WWE doesn't bring him back as often as they bring some of the other major stars. It's because of things like this.
So it gets to the point where our little Brooke was fucking the black guy's son. We've been hanging out. I caught them holding hands together on Twitter, getting close. I knew more. I'm doing fucking good. I'm not a double standard type guy. I'm a racist to a point. Yeah. Fucking here's the thing when it comes to nice people. We all are that way. Yeah, but when it comes to nice people, you can't say. I don't give a fuck shit. I don't care if I'm football player, or a basketball player. That happens. If we're gonna talk with vendors, let's get original. This kid is a multi-billionaire, but so it gets to the point where.
So again, that's making its way around the interwebs, and this does not help. This does not help discourage people calling the MAGA movement white supremacists. But they do what they got to do. All right, we got some stuff on what happened in Butler, Pennsylvania. The first thing is, and this is probably not that big a deal. It's probably, they wouldn't do this if they were just on traffic duty, but I don't know. We'll bring it up with Chris tomorrow night. Butler County sheriffs claim responding officers did not wear body cams, so there is no footage of any actions or interactions from the attempted assassination, which again, on the surface, it sounds like, because we're so used to seeing body cam footage of things. But again, if they're only handling traffic, I wouldn't think it would be that big a deal. Okay, we got video now. Video cut to show only the telehandler, which is the big forklift over here, the forklift extender. It starts spewing fluid, as you see, and then the speaker stand, it was holding up and I forget what shit, holding up all the speakers anyway. I forget the actual technical name. And it drops and the speakers start coming down. Now this is behind, as you can see, it is where it hits. It's back and behind, a good distance behind where the other shots hit. So we're going to hear more about this, I believe. And speaking of where the other shots hit, let's take a look at this real quick.
Something that said, take a look what happened. Something that said, take a look what happened.
Okay, they're saying that this is a completely different audio sound from the other bullets, the other concussions caused by the firing of the 223s or the 552s, that this is a different sound, and also that where it hits up here on the corner rail was so far away from where former President Trump was speaking that there might have been a second shooter. When I first saw this, I thought this guy snuck a concealed weapon in, and when he pulled it out, he shot it backwards. But I don't know if that's, that's the first thing I saw. Let's look at the whole thing, because there are some other things we're gonna see here.
See something that said, take a look what happened. See something that said, take a look what happened. What happened? Take a look what happened.
Now, sadly, we're also seeing the result of one of the other bullets.
If you want to really see something that said, take a look what happened.
I got to get rid of that. Do not want copy strike. So, according to this video, they are saying that the first two shots hit a bystander and the railing. Again, more analysis has to be done on all of this, and the less information, real information, they try to get out. And the Trump team has an absolute lockdown on anything and everything, as we've shown you. That's by their director. Nobody can talk about anything. If you do, you'll be fired immediately. All right. We've got, again, the hydraulic line on the forklift. And this just gives another analysis of it, and it needs much more. But here's from a different angle.
If you want to really see something that said, take a look what happened.
And then there was that last pop gunshot. All right. We're going to listen to this again. What burst the hydraulic line? What was the trajectory of that bullet? Was it the same bullet that struck somebody else?
If you
or a
want to
different
really see something that said, take a look what happened.
And there was the last bullet. We'll go through it one more time here before we wrap.
If you want to really see something that said, take a look what happened.
1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10. All right. Again, like we always say, we don't tell you what to think or how to think, just give you things to think about. And this is new to me, hearing it from the perspective we just heard it, and maybe it's new to you. So definitely needs more analysis. And the Secret Service snipers, this is the latest from them. Secret Service snipers didn't shoot at the kid on the roof until he turned around from pointing the weapon at the cop and started shooting at Trump, according to reports. We reported that a few days back, which means the snipers saw him point the weapon at the cop, and they didn't shoot him until he started shooting at Trump. which is what we said, which is what we have said happened, and now the information coming out from Washington D.C. is going along those lines as well. Um, so there we go. There you have it. That's what's going on Thursday afternoon. Former President and current Republican nominee Donald Trump will be speaking tonight in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And Chris and I may be on late, depending on how things go. Or and if not, we'll be on probably sometime tomorrow afternoon, and then again, if not tomorrow night, live with Chris when we have an extended session. And we want to know what you think. So join us tomorrow night at 9. Thank you so very much, as always, for being here. Wish you nothing but blessings. Have a wonderful afternoon. And it's a dark world. Try to be a light. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the share, and we will